Hood latches are working perfectly. I call that a win. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today is unfortunately another maintenance day. Why does it always seem like whenever you decide to have fun, monkey wrench always gets thrown into the plans here? But you tend to alternate back and forth between doing the projects you want to do and then doing the projects you have to do, but you really don't want to do. But that's the nature of owning a car. Things always tend to go wrong with the car. That's why they depreciate, because something's always breaking. It's not the end of the world, because a lot of the stuff that does get broken, you can fix it yourself. Save me about $300 or $400 too, if I just learned to do it myself. So that's a win. If you guys saw my last video, I finally got the hood latches installed on my car. Those are working out very well. I removed the original hood release latch, got rid of that because it was old and rusted. Just a little bit of weight reduction. And now I don't even need to pull the latch anymore. I just lift the hood straight up. So that's very convenient for me. But now that that fun project's done, I have to do another fun project, which I don't know if it's gonna be fun or not. My alternator's going bad. At first I thought it was my battery. I kept charging my battery, kept recharging my battery, then recharging my battery again. Only to find out it's not holding the charge. I was pushed to the back of the wall and I didn't know what to do. So like many of you guys, what did I do? I got on YouTube. They gave me some tips on how I can do this myself and give me some ideas and some guidance on how to get it fixed. I ordered a replacement alternator. I'm on my way over to go pick it up right now. And when I get back, we'll start installing that. And I'll walk through the process with you guys. You guys can see exactly what it is that I do to replace the alternator on this car. So we're gonna get into this right now. We're gonna head over to the shop, get my alternator, and then we'll head back. Yeah, that's a bad sign right there. Battery light is flickering, fluttering. I imagine if I gas it and get some charge into the battery, it may go off. I don't know. Let's go fix this. All right, safety first. No, my glasses. We got the new alternator. It's a refurbished one, remanufactured one. It wasn't expensive at all. It's pretty damn heavy. Let me put it back in the box. So let's head on home, get this bad boy installed, and let's see how much of a pain in the ass this project is going to be. I also went and got a brand new serpentine belt too, just to replace the old one. I'm not sure what the condition is of the existing serpentine belt, but I figure it's the original serpentine belt. The car is 9 years old, so things are going to start breaking apart and falling apart. So before that happens, I'm just going to replace this. Guys, you wouldn't believe this, but my car died about 5 times on my way back home. I did not think I was going to make it. So now I've got my baby charging. I'm just getting a little bit of charge on here because I need to have some sort of voltage so I could do a test when I replace the alternator. But yeah, she's limping right now and she's hurting bad. It's not the battery, it definitely is the alternator, because as I was driving, a lot of the dash lights were popping on. I lost power steering, the ABS was acting all crazy, the throttle was sputtering. It was just dying and losing power on the way here. I pretty much had to coast it in neutral the whole way. Good thing it's a lot of downhill, so. But yeah, she's hurting. We definitely need to get this alternator replaced, and hopefully that's going to be the trick. I got a feeling it's going to be a pain in the job, but cross my fingers. Like any fun project, we have to remove some pieces and bolts before we can get to the meat. Unhook the battery, so now power's not running to it, so I don't get shocked. And to get to this tensioner bolt, it's this guy right here. I gotta move that tensioner over, but I can't get to the tensioner because I have the AC line right here and I've got this motor mount. So what I'm going to do to make my life easier, because I need to remove this serpentine belt, I'm going to remove the motor mount and I'm going to remove that bolt right there so I can make some room, and just move this over ever so slightly just so I can get my wrenches up in there, because I don't have a serpentine wrench, so I have to make do with what I have. Oh, of course, also got to remove my oil catch can too, because it's just the little things like this that are always in the way. In order to remove this bolt right here from the alternator, and there's another bolt that's underneath that you can't see with the camera. So this should be fun. Let's get to work. had some trouble getting to that tensioner bolt with this wrench here. So one guy was right. I had to unscrew the AC line right here, and the only thing that fits that bolt, this is 17 millimeter, and I've got this ratchet right here and it fits onto the bolt. However, I can't get the proper angle to lift up the serpentine belt, and this motor mount here is in the way and the bolts are rusted. I can't get this thing off, and I don't want to damage anything more than I don't have to, so I'm going to try and use my serpentine tool, which I went ahead and just caved in, and I got online and bought myself a serpentine tool, serpentine belt tool, excuse me. This seems like it's going to work, and it's this guy right here, this long handle. I've got the proper socket for it to fit. So what I'm going to do is lift up on this handle right here just enough so that the serpentine belt loosens up, and then I'll use my flathead and try to pry off the belt off of the alternator. So wish me luck. Let's see if I can get this done correctly. Moving. And the belt's moving on the alternator, which is good. Got some slack here. Shut up, dog. Alright guys, I don't know how much of my audio got recorded during the process, but it seems like the GoPro actually has some issues with the audio recording on the microphone and the video, and it doesn't tell you that the audio stopped recording. So I might have a lot of dead air, which I'll just have to turn into a montage or something. But what I did was I removed the bolt that was right here. Hopefully you guys can see that area. Let me move my catch can out the way. There was a bolt that was right here, and I removed that, and the other bolt is actually underneath, which is a pain in the ass because I actually had to lift up the car and remove the wheel. And there is the bolt right there. I have my socket wrench hooked up to it. Finally got the serpentine belt removed a little bit. But yeah, there's the bolt right there that you guys need to remove. It's better just to do it by lifting up the car and getting underneath it rather than trying to reach down the bay and digging your hand down up in here and getting the bolt that way, which you're working blindly because you can't see. That was a pain in the butt to do. But lesson learned, always work smarter, not harder. It's better to get the job done right than to get it done quick. I'm learning that the hard way. Now I got the car lifted up, and I'm going to remove that bolt, and I should be able to unplug the alternator from the engine, and hopefully it'll come out smoothly. Then I got the two bolts removed from the alternator. Now it's just plugged in with the power clips. Well, let's see if I can pry this away from the rest of the mount that's here. Yeah, it's really on there. just can't get the leverage. Trying to pull the power plug up out of the alternator. And ladies and gents, this is why an alternator costs $500 to $600 job. Getting to it is more of a problem than actually getting it out, because there are so many other car parts in the way. But with much deliberation, like I said, I was finally able to get this alternator off. It's finally unbolted to the engine. Now I just need to pull it out of the tight cavity that these little 4-cylinder Korean engines put together. It's the best way to get this job out of here. They did not make this easy at all. If I turn it sideways. Oh, damn, I got it unbolted and I can't even get it out. Alright, now I can finally say with much deliberation for the second time that I finally got the old alternator out. Here's the cavity where it used to be. So here's the old one. And here's the new one that's going in. Now if you can see, if I walk back over to the car, these are the connections that I had to unplug that I couldn't show you before. There are 3 connections that need to be unplugged from this thing in order to get it out. It's the first power connector right there. Then you have this B plus connector. You see it says B plus right there. The third one is this clip that was in here. Now this is just a plastic clip. I couldn't leverage my wrenches or none of my tools to really get this thing out, or my pliers or anything, so I just cut it. It's just a piece of plastic right here. So what I'm going to do is get a zip tie and zip tie the cord back into this little loop, because this cable right here is what was zip tied is what was in this little plastic clip right here. So here is the power cord that plugged into here, and no, sorry, this one is the power cord that plugged into here. This orange power cord is the one that plugged into this module that's down up in here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm pointing right to it. See if I can zoom in. But in order for me to get the alternator out of the cavity, because there was so much in the way, these brackets were in the way, the AC pipe was in the way, all of these pieces were in the way, so I had to unscrew and unmount these pieces right here. And hopefully you guys won't have to do that, because my setup was a pain in the ass to really get unhooked. And if you guys setup is anything like mine, unfortunately you're going to have to remove these screws. Now fortunately these are just 3 10mm screws that I just unhooked from the engine, from the intake manifold, and now I'll be able to fit the new alternator back in, get these screwed up, get everything aligned, and we can call this a wrap. So it took me about an hour and a half to actually get this guy out. They make it sound so easy, but it's really not. It's not easy at all by any means. But I tell you one thing though, I was able to at least save about $500 by doing this job myself. So $500 so versus a couple hours worth of work, I'll choose the work. Really wasn't all that bad. You just got to have a lot of patience, that's all. Let's get the new alternator in, and this guy right here, this is the new one that will sit right down in the new cavity. So just fit this down up in there, plug it up, get everything bolted, rebolt this section right here. Comment below, let me know what this is. I don't know what that part is. You mechanics out there will know better than I would. But I'll get this bolted back up, start the engine, and we'll see if this bad boy fires up. So I'm gonna stop it right here because I need to figure out some things. It's probably gonna take me a little bit to actually get this thing bolted up in here. But once it's all set and done, I'll show you guys the finished product, and then we could get going because I can't wait for this thing to be finished. Let me finish this project. And that job is a wrap. Alternators in place. Let me get the serpentine belt on. Okay, you guys, so I finally got the alternator installed. I've got the serpentine belt back on. Actually, I've got the new serpentine belt back on. You can see right here. And that was a bear to get on also. This is day 2 of getting the alternator project complete. I actually ran out of energy at the end of the day yesterday. Sun was going down. I was getting eaten up by mosquitoes. And I just did not have the strength to get the serpentine belt onto the engine. So I went to bed last night, could hardly sleep because I was very sore. Forgot to take some Tylenol, and my whole body was just aching. This job is finally done, I can say. The only thing left to do now is hook up my oil catch can. I get the screw back in for the AC line, hook up the battery, turn the engine on, and pray that this thing doesn't blow up. But I'm really happy that I did not have to take off the motor mount, because these screws are rusted shut up in here, and it was going to be another day before I could probably get these off. So I'm really glad I was able to get the serpentine belt on without removing the motor mount. The serpentine tool actually came in handy, and I'm really glad that I got that thing, because I couldn't have been able to move the tensioner with the bolts and the tools that I have. So getting a serpentine tool, that was worth the investment. So I'm gonna hook this thing back up, get the engine started, test the voltage with my voltmeter, see if I'm in the correct range of the alternator and the battery, and wish me luck. And now here's the moment of truth, guys. We've got power. Yes! Let's go check this out. Woohoo! Yes! Oh man. Oh man, finally. I can't believe I did this. Alright. Guys, you guys, I'm so happy right now. It took me, this is day 2. It took me 2 days to get this done. I'm really happy about this. Let me go check the meter. And yeah, I hope this is correct. Got 11.93, 11.9. That's because the battery is being drained. It was running off the battery this whole time with my alarm and everything. Looks like the alternator's working. The battery's starting to get charged up a little bit. Now it's up in the 12s. We're at 11.89. We're at 11.9. And I'm gonna rev it a little bit and let's see if it jumps up above 12, because if it does, that means the alternator is working and it's charging the battery. Alright, so looks like we're staying at or a little bit over 12. I'm gonna put all the lights on, the AC on, the radio, and we'll see if the alternator is able to help keep the battery charged while everything's on. Alright, I got everything on. It dropped down, which is expected. But hopefully over time, I really think this alternator is going to charge up the battery. My battery started dying because my car was just running straight off of the battery without any voltage from the alternator. So hopefully this new alternator will help me from having to buy a new battery. Most likely I'll have to buy a new battery. But let's hope this gives me a few more days so I can get some more money to buy a new battery, because these batteries are expensive. So the alternator seems to be holding up okay. I probably won't know for sure until I take this for a run for a few days, and then I'll check the voltage again and see if the voltage changes at all. But all in all, I like to consider this to be a success, ... But I'll give it a few days and I'll check it in. And yeah, guys, I know my engine's dirty. Cut me some slack on it, okay? I just haven't been able to have time to get this cleaned up, but I will. This engine is not going to look like this for much longer. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm really glad. I feel a huge sense of accomplishment that I was able to get this done by myself. So kudos to me, pat on my back. I'm really happy about this. Stay tuned for more. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I'll be having more content for you guys soon. Actually, the next update I plan on doing is the airbag suspension. So stay tuned for that. So as always, stay true to yourself. Love what you do what you love. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
Yeah.